Hi, this video is gonna be slightly different from my usual quirky videos. So recently I was watching Desterys, is that how you say it? Desterys new video on, well, at the time I'm recording this, which is like the 1st of October, but like I watched it like the night before last night, but it's the 1st of October. But yeah, so recently I was watching Desterys' new video on Shane Dawson's YouTube channel. The video was part of his WTF, or what the F, sorry I don't swear, or at least I try not to swear, you know. The video was part of his WTF series, oh no wait, WTF 5 series, and it was called 5 Creepiest Kids Drawings. I felt the need to watch it when I saw it. Like, I watched it with my mom and my sister. I felt the need to watch it because, like, it had a certain drawing in the thumbnail, and I feel the need to talk about it, and you know, yeah. And the very first story on the list had to be the story of Lisa. Of course, now I don't know who does the research for these videos, whether it be Desterys or Shane, but I know for a fact that the research was not very well done for this specific story. I'm not sure about the rest of the stories on the list, or even in every other video he does, but for this specific story, it wasn't done correctly, and that makes me question every other story's research done on every other story. Yeah, the research done on every other story, it makes me question whether I can believe that or not, because I know the backstory of this one, and the backstory they kind of, well, Desterys kind of gave it, at least I don't know if he writes it, but yeah, the backstory he at least said was wrong. Completely wrong.
Number 1. Lisa. So these are actually a series of drawings that were created by what seems to be a little unnamed girl. It tells the account of her and her friend Lisa, who, as we can see from these drawings, is not human. Yeah, pretty sure normal humans don't have blood coming from their eyes and mouth, and no legs.
I want to quickly state that I hold no hate for Desterys or Shane. I like Desterys, and I completely adore Shane. I love Shane so much, and anybody who knows me would kind of know that, at least, maybe, I don't know. Yeah, it's actually, like, despite what everybody who seems to have covered the story has said, it's actually not that hard to find the story behind it. It's actually not that hard to find the author. It's actually not that hard to find who actually wrote the story and drew the pictures and stuff like that. It's actually really not that hard. So it's like, why? Why? I know mystery is a lot more interesting, but like, when it's something as deep as this, and if you do the actual research, it's actually a really serious situation. And so it could be very, very serious for every other story that's been covered if the research was not done properly for them either. So in Desterys' video, it was stated that the story of Lisa was written, and it was like, it was written by an unnamed little girl, which is the kind of backstory that almost every single, if not every single person I've seen cover the story has kind of said. And it's like, is anybody even doing the research properly? I've found certain people who have done the research properly, but it seems like the majority have not. And it seems like it's very hard to find, or it's not that often you'll come across somebody who has done the research properly, which is bad. It shouldn't be like that, you know. The story has like an even bigger truth behind it. So basically the story was written by an artist named Schreiner. Schreiner? I'm not exactly sure how to say the last name, so I'm just going to call her Sunny throughout the entire video. Sorry. She wrote it out of boredom. If research was done properly, everybody would see that she actually did an interview where she explained, oh gosh, sorry, that's my nephew yelling and the dogs are barking. But she actually did an interview where she revealed why exactly she wrote the story. And it was out of boredom, but yeah, she did an interview and it goes really in depth. And here's a screenshot from like the interview of some of what she said during the interview, because like it was an article. So like here's a quick screenshot of some of what she said. You can pause it and read if you want, and I will link the full versions, the full articles below, so you can see those as well. I'm very sorry, it's a mad house. Pun? No? So now that you know like who wrote it and somewhat why, and if you paused and went to read the articles and the screenshot, then well, you know more. So yay. So I'm going to tell you a little story. So sometime last year I was getting really into making audiobooks and kickstarting my hobby for voice acting, hoping that I can actually make something out of it. Now, I had known about the story of Lisa for a while. I never did the research behind it because like I always just used to listen to stories that were like, you know, by horror channels and stuff. I used to listen to the stories that they would report and stuff. I would just listen to them whenever I was bored, and you know, I would educate myself more on, well, not exactly because like I wasn't doing the research, but I would listen to the stories and have more to talk about with anybody who was interested in horror, you know. But yeah, so I never did research behind the stories. Well, it was very rare. It had to be a story that I had full interest in, that inspired me to do a story of my own or something like that. And you know, like it would always be something that inspired me, so I would look more into it, like so that I could get more ideas. But that was kind of it. I never really, for the most part, never really did research on stories that I listened to. I would just I would just obviously just listen to them as as like the majority of viewers would, you know, like, and if I got inspiration, then yay. But like I heard a couple of YouTubers cover the story of Lisa over time. It wasn't like all in bulk, it was like over time. But like the very last time I heard somebody talk about it, I can't remember which YouTuber it was, but it was the very last time I heard it in a video. It was the very last time I heard it in a video. I haven't really been watching the horror narrators for a good while. Probably since then, because I just got so caught up in a lot of stuff, whether it be this or my personal life. But I remember when I last heard the story of Lisa, when I last heard about it, I thought to myself, I actually have an idea, because I was getting really into doing voice acting and stuff, and I decided, you know what, I want to do an audiobook, voiceover, whatever, of this exact story. So when I decided I wanted to do that, because I thought to myself I could do it really good, but like when I decided I really wanted to do that, I decided I need permission from the actual author. So I wanted to actually find out if it was really an unnamed little girl. So I had to do my research on the story, and if I can do the research, then everybody else, I'm pretty sure, can do the research. It's really not that hard, like, which is why I'm so kind of irritated. Well, not kind of, very, now that I know even more. But I'm very irritated by the fact that so many people have covered it and never actually credited or said who wrote it. And you know, like the whole little girl thing, it's a myth, it's an urban legend. The real person who wrote it is a real person, and she we'll get into it, but she's a real person and she deserves a lot of credit. A lot. A hell of a lot. Trust me. So when I did the research, what I found was pretty normal at first, pretty casual. I found the interview articles that, when she had done an interview talking about why she wrote the story. And then I was like, oh, okay, so that part is a myth. It wasn't a little girl who wrote the story. It was not an unnamed little girl. she's actually, like, you know, it's not an unnamed little girl, and she didn't even do it for attention. She just did it out of boredom. Like, you know, like, she didn't do it in the hopes of it blowing up like it did, which is crazy. And the whole little girl thing, like, you know, like, let me just carry on. When I found that article, I got a better understanding of where the story came from, obviously. And then at the bottom of the article, it had like her social media and stuff, which I thought, oh, great. So now that I know who it is, I can get the permission I need. And I've also learned something more about the story, because, I'll say it again, it was not an unnamed little girl who wrote it. It was Sunny. So I went on her social media, and then what I found kind of, like, it kind of scared me. It was really sad. It was really not what I was expecting at all. I went onto her Facebook page, and she had posted a link. This was at the time the very last thing she had posted on her Facebook page. There was a link, and this was posted a couple of months ago, I think, from the time that I had went on there. She'd posted a link to a blog called Last Blog, and I clicked on it and I read through it, and she basically talked about how she was leaving the internet. She basically talked about how she was leaving the internet because of people, like, due to like threats and harassment and cyberbullying and people using her work without permission. After reading like the blog, I wanted to do something so badly, because it's really not fair. That's really not a fair situation to be in. But I thought to myself, I'm like only one person. I can't do much. But I found this out, and like, I need to do something. I need to do something about it. Like, you know, like, even though I'm only a small channel, and it's like, I wasn't really trying with YouTube back then. I wasn't really doing anything with YouTube. I was focusing on college and stuff, so like, I wasn't even that huge at all, and I'm not even that huge right now, so I doubt I'm gonna be very helpful right now either. But something needs to be done, you know? But anyways, I'm talking about back then. I'm talking about back then now. We'll get to this point later, but I'm talking about back then now. But I did think to myself, I found this out, and I need to do something. I need to spread it around, and I need to try and get her the credit, and maybe other people will notice and they'll help me. You know, like, maybe they'll help me try and get her the credit as well. So I sent a message to her Facebook page. And just kind of explained how I didn't think she would see it because she left the internet, but I let her know that I was going to try my best to get her the credit. I was going to try my best to spread it around as much as I possibly could, and spread it around everywhere, dig it into people's heads, and trying my best to get her the credit for the story of Lisa, because that is her story. I then went around messaging a lot of horror narrators at the time, like, well, I went around messaging a lot of the horror narrators that I actually watch, and some that I don't even really listen to at all, or never really have. I just went around as much as I possibly could, and I even went around to people I knew covered the story, and I sent them all messages, posts, and so much, and I didn't quite expect to be answered, at least right away, if at all, but I still wanted to try, you know? I thought maybe one of them would at least notice me. Months later, none of them actually reached out to me. None at all. I sent it to so many people, even YouTubers that aren't even in the horror community, news people and stuff, and nobody at all. Not one. I even sent it to smaller YouTubers. Not one person. Even people who say they usually check their messages and respond when they can. This was months later. Nobody. Not one person. And I know people are busy and stuff, but at least one would have been so helpful. But none. Nobody. Not one person at all. But I did get a response from Sunny. I got a response from Sunny, and she thanked me for the caring and stuff. She thanked me, but she said, she talked to me about, I don't remember word from word, but she talked to me about how the people on the internet were really the last thing on her mind, like the last thing she wants to worry about, like the last thing she's even worrying about at that point. This part can get a bit triggering and personal. And it's somewhat public knowledge, so I am not outing any super personal information. It's what I'm going to say is basically public knowledge now. What I'm going to say is basically public knowledge now, because she really went above and beyond to get as many people as she could involved in this situation to help. So if she wants me to take this video down, I definitely will, but like, yeah, I just feel like this, I'm really hoping this is the right move, but like, yeah. So she talked to me about how her son was diagnosed with a rare form of brain cancer called DIPG, I think. And she talked about her struggles and of trying to get help for him. Like, she needed money and she just needed help for operations and stuff. Like, she talked to me about all that. And it really, I was just shocked when I heard. It was so, like, that's just a sad situation to be in, like, having all that from the internet and then having to deal with your own son. Like, she is strong. She is strong. She is so strong. But anyway, she was in desperate need to help her son. She needed money and she needed help, and I couldn't do anything because, like, I don't, like, I couldn't do anything. Like, she's in America, so like, I couldn't do anything. But so I couldn't really help her, but I let her know that I was there if she needed me, or if she needed anybody to talk to. And I know, like, we're not even super close, but I still wanted to be a friend to her. I wanted to be a good friend. And I was so glad she reached out to me and she opened up about all that. Even I'm not the only person who knows, but like, I'm just glad she like opened up about that. But I did my best to help as much as I could. Basically, I went around again spreading the news again, with just differently. Like, I talked about how I tried to get her the credit and I also tried to get her the help. So I sent like links around again, like the charity, the GoFundMe page, and the like her Facebook, and I think I sent her Facebook around as well. But I sent it all around. I talked about how the person who wrote the story of Lisa is really in need of help. Like, she really needs money for her son. So, you know, I went around as much as I could. I went around to all of the horror narrators again that I watch and don't watch and all that. Smaller YouTubers, bigger YouTubers, like YouTube news people, because I thought YouTube is a huge community, and even when like they help with really situations, especially to do with kids. Like, everybody wants to jump on board, so I messaged even more people than I messaged last time. I tried my best to get as many people on board as possible, but you know what, I got scene zoned by many people. I saw they had seen my messages and stuff and never responded, and when I looked at their channels, never covered it. And I know people get busy. People get busy and stuff, but it's such a big situation. It is such a big situation, and she really needed help. And I tried so hard. I sent it around as much as I could on every different social platform that I had, and nothing. I sent it to so many different people and nothing changed. Nothing happened. Nobody reported it. Nobody talked about it in any of their videos. I would check everybody's that I sent it to. I checked everybody's channels. Nobody ever said a word. And even the people who seen zoned it, everybody who I saw it, didn't say a word. Not one word was said about it, and it was just... I just don't understand. I know you get busy, I know everybody gets busy, but if you're not that busy to be playing a YouTube, like playing a game on YouTube, like recording a video for YouTube. I know for some people it's their job, but if you're not too busy to play a game, if you're not too busy to narrate a story, you could just make it a small announcement, put it in your descriptions. But no, nobody that I talked to anyway. She did have support coming in from people she knew. She did have some support, but it's like everywhere I looked on the internet, nobody was reporting it. Nobody was, like, I know I mostly focused on YouTube because I thought it was a huge platform where people, like, you know, help each other. And I did send it to smaller YouTubers, so, like, I don't understand, like, smaller people who are easy to talk to. Even YouTubers that I actually have had a back and forth with in the past, I have actually talked to, I have actually become friends with. When push came to shove, they didn't want to budge. They didn't want to budge at all. And it's just like, a lot of these people, whenever they have a problem, they'll talk about it on their channels. They'll talk about their friends' problems on their channels. They'll send around GoFundMes. But when somebody is asking for help, it's like you can't reach them. You can't reach them. Even channels, even people who have channels, and I've spoken to them. I've had deep conversations. I've talked to them about what I'm doing at the time. But yeah, my messages were most likely pushed down in the many messages they would get, or ignored, or whatever. I don't know. So I decided I would try and make a video myself and try to spread it around as much as possible and get the help that she needs. To get the help that she needs and her son needs, with links to the GoFundMes and stuff like that. All to help her kid. But I never really got around to making a video for him and her due to my personal life growing hectic. I barely ever talked to her, but I would keep up with the updates on her kid. I would keep going back to her page to see if anything new had happened. I would try and keep up with the updates as much as possible. And I let her know I was here anytime she needed to talk. I made sure that she knew that I was here anytime she needed to talk. Until the following months after that became too much for me and my personal life. And I wasn't really paying attention to anything. Not just the situation that she and her son are in. I wasn't paying attention to many things. I wasn't keeping up with a lot of the things that I used to. It's not that I didn't care or forgot. It's just that a lot began happening for me and my personal life, bad and good. Like, a lot of bad. It's like the bad like really outweighed the good. A few good things did happen, but it's like the bad things mostly outweighed it. And then we fast forward to the other day. So yeah, the bad stuff kept me away from a lot of updates for a long time. So yeah, we'll fast forward to the other day. I was thinking to myself, I'm actually in a calmer state, and I actually feel like I'm ready to make that video and try and get the help that they really need. Which was kind of annoying and stupid for me to wait so long. Even though so much was happening, like, it was just like, why did I wait so long? I went onto her page. To see if there was any updates, anything, like just anything that I may need to know before I made a video to try and spread around and help. But like what I found really made my heart drop. I was actually too late. I was way too late. Even too late to find the update. I was way too late. I found a post on her page that stated that her son had passed away back in August, and he was only 8 years old. He was only 8 years old, and she posted a piece of artwork that her son had done, and it was so beautiful. It was a beautiful piece of artwork. He really would have been an amazing artist. He really would have. He would have grown up to be an amazing artist just like his mom, but he was only 8. He was so young. He had so much more to live for. He had so much. He actually had a talent that he could have progressed with over the years. He could have actually became an artist. I knew I couldn't help him anymore. I had no way of actually helping him. I had no way of, because it was already too late. I can't help him, but I'm still gonna be there for her as much as I can, and I'm gonna keep up with all of her updates. Like, even my family were trying to help out with spreading the news around and stuff, and when I told them, they were so saddened by the news. They were saddened by the news as well, like, and well, I thought to myself, it's over. Like, I can't make a video now because I can't help him. It's not gonna help him at all. Only a few days later, Desterys released his video on Shane's YouTube channel. And it was stating how the story of Lisa was written by an unnamed little girl. And that's when I knew I had to make a video still. I had to make a video to still at least get her the credit. Because even though I can't help her kid, I can't help her, I can't help them get money, I can't help them do anything anymore, I can't help them with that situation anymore, I can still do something that would hopefully help her. And that's getting her rights back for that art that she did, that story that she did. That was her piece of art, that was her work, and it was basically taken away from her, and a lot of people just don't seem to, that nobody's, like, barely anybody is crediting her, and she deserves the credit. She has gone through way too much already, and I'm not trying to turn it into a sob story. I just really need to do something for her, and I feel like this is the only thing I can do. It's the thing that I was doing from the beginning, and honestly, I should have done it sooner. I should have made a video sooner. I should have made a video back when she needed money, because what's absolutely sad and annoying about the situation is the amount of attention the story of Lisa actually got. If she was actually credited, if Sunny was actually credited, maybe more attention could be brought to her situation and her son's situation, and then maybe we all could have done more to help her son and help her when they both really, really needed it. But like, no, I guess mystery is more important, right? Like, that's like such an annoying part of the story, because that story blew up. And it's just like, why wouldn't you just do your research and credit the author? And especially help out in a time when she really needs it. Like, a lot of people did donate to her, but it didn't reach the goal. But anyway, when I saw that Desterys video was like, when I saw what Desterys said in his video that was on Shane's YouTube channel, like, the story of Lisa surfaced again, but this time on an even bigger YouTube channel, on a huge YouTuber's channel. So that means so many people are going to view that video, and so many people are going to be misinformed about it. Like, this is huge this time. This is massive. Every other person, it's like, yes, they were big, but not as big as Shane Dawson, you know, like. And it's just like, now that it's on his channel, there's so many viewers of his, there's just so many people who view it, and just that one fact, just that written by a little girl. If you had just said that it was a myth that it was written by the little girl, and that you had just actually credited the creator, Sunny, it wouldn't be as bad, and then at least Sunny would actually get the attention that was needed. But I guess all the attention is kind of needed at the wrong time now. Like, she should have got so much credit sooner, because then she would have got so much attention, and her situation, maybe it could have been helped. Maybe all the attention from the story of Lisa, maybe it could have all went to her actual good use, rather than, oh my god, it's a cool horror story, oh my god, how creepy, oh my god, kids can be so creepy. Like, it could have actually gone to somebody who actually needed it. She actually needed a lot of attention, a lot of support, and her son needed just a lot. They just needed a lot, and I feel like if she had got the credit sooner, the situation, maybe it could have been better. Maybe the situation could have been better. Of course, we don't know, but maybe there could have been a huge chance, a bigger chance of actually being able to help her kid. And that's like one thing that annoys me so much about this situation. Like, yes, it's one thing to not be credited for something you've done, but it's another thing to not have the attention and support needed, and the money needed for the operations and stuff to help your own kid. Like, I can't imagine what she must be going through. I can't imagine what she must be feeling, because that, like, can you imagine just your kid having a condition that you can't help, you can't stop, you can't do anything, and not even having the money to try and fix it? Like, I swear, the amount that the story of Lisa really blew up, if she had just been credited every time it was covered, rather than people choosing the mystery over the truth, maybe something more could have been done. Maybe something even better could have been done. Yes, there's a chance that it still would have all ended the same. It still probably would have ended the same, but there would have been a bigger chance that maybe something could have actually been done. The amount of times I heard that story covered on so many different channels. Yes, it was over time, but I've watched a lot of horror narrators. I've been watching them since I was in high school. I have now left college. And in that time frame, I have heard many people cover the story of Lisa. Many. And it's just like, each time it was covered, if she had just had the credit, maybe the situation could have been a lot better. It could have actually been a lot better. And maybe if some of my friends actually helped out with sharing the news around, then, you know, yes, my family helped out, but if some of my friends actually helped out too, that would have been great. That would have been a great help. That would have been a huge help, but nah. Who's gonna listen to a kid who has a choker and bear ears? But this isn't about me. This is so much bigger than me. Now I just want her to have the credit. I need to do something for her, so I want her to have the credit. So her son's name was Farron. I really hope I said that right, but Farron. And it's such a unique and cool name. It's a really cute name, and it's really unique. And he would have grown up to be an artist. I know it. He would have grew up to be just like his mom, an amazing, beautiful artist. But his life was cut too short, way too soon. But I was talking to my mum about this, and we came to the thought that we actually believe that there should be a charity opened up in his name. Now we're not going to open it up. I don't know how to do that stuff at all, but it's not my place to be opening up something like that. It's really entirely up to Sunny. But I believe, and my mum believes, that there should be a charity opened up to help other kids that may have the condition that he had, or something similar to it, because it's a rare condition. As stated, it's a rare condition, and there's a lot of money that needs to go into treating it. From what I can see from this whole situation, that's what I've learned. And if there was a charity to help other people, then maybe some other families won't have to go through what Sunny has had to go through. He would have been an amazing artist, but he couldn't be known for that. He couldn't grow up to be known for that. But maybe he could be known, his name could be known for a charity that actually helps kids with similar conditions or the same condition as he had. So yes, I did this video because I wanted to help Sunny in one of the only ways I really know how. I tried so hard. I tried sharing her story around before I knew about Farron. I tried getting her credit, but nobody listened. And then when I found out about her kid, I tried on an even bigger scale to get her kid help while at the same time trying to get her credit. Hopefully getting two things done at once. But this is really the last thing I know how to do, because nobody seemed to listen to what I had to say when it was text. So maybe a video will suffice, and if this was the wrong move, and if Sunny is not happy with me doing this, I will take the video down. I really will. but I really hope this was the right move. And all I can really ask of anybody viewing this, if you viewed it, if you watch it, please share it around everywhere and share it to anybody you know, share it to any YouTuber you know. If you are a YouTuber, please say something, try and get her the credit. That's really the only thing I know I can do for her right now, is just share this around, try and get her the credit, please. Anybody who has covered the story, please correct them if they have got it wrong and said it was an unnamed little girl. Like, please tell them Sunny wrote the story of Lisa, please. And I really hope Shane or Desterys sees this video and decides to correct that one video. That is such a huge, it's got such a huge view count. It's on such a big channel, so obviously it's going to have such a huge view count. So all I can ask is that it's all shared, it's shared around, so that this misinformation can be thrown out the window. Like, we need people to know that the story of Lisa was not written by an unnamed little girl. It was written by Sunny. Yes, I struggle saying her last name. I usually just say Schreiner because I don't really know how to say her last name. I don't even know Schreiner is the right way to say it, but it's the only way I know how, so I'm sorry, Sunny. And I really just want to say, Sunny, if you are actually watching this, I'm sorry if this is the wrong move. I will take it down if you want me to, but I really want to get you that credit, and I will go to the end of the earth to get you that credit. I will do whatever it takes to get that credit for you. I know I'm just a small channel. I don't have a huge voice, but I'm hoping that many people who do have connections or are a huge voice themselves can help and get you that credit that you deserve, because you've gone through way too much at the moment and you don't need it anymore. You don't need any more crap. You just need something good to actually happen. You need something good to actually happen, and I am trying my best to be here to support you, even though I'm not around very much really, and I get caught up in my own life. If I know that you need help, I will try my best to help. And I know we don't really talk. I've probably talked to you through messages like twice, and like, no, maybe twice, I don't know, but through comments, yes, we've talked a little bit, a tiny bit, but I've kept up with as much as I can, and I've looked at the majority of your artwork. You are amazing, you're a wonderful person, and I'm sad by the fact you've had to go through so much, and I really hope that something good can come from this video, at least something like the credit that you really deserve for Story of Lisa, because the amount of times I have heard that story and not heard the credit, heard that it was done by an unnamed little girl, it's bogus. It really is. It's just, sorry, I'm rambling now. Links to all of Sunny's social media I found anyway in the description, and links to articles, the article that where you can see her story, the story of Lisa, and where you can read her interview in description. Desterys' video will be in the description as well, so if you want to comment on it and say that he's got the story wrong or he's said it wrong or something like that, just go for it, please. Just try and spread this around as much as you can. Spread it around as much as you can. We need to get her that credit. We need her to have the credit for that story, and the amount of times I've heard the misinformed information is just annoying. So yes, and if you have covered the story, please correct it, please. No matter how long ago it was when you covered the story, please correct it, because if your video is still getting, video blog, whatever, is still getting views, you really need to correct that misinformation. So that's really all I can say about that. So yeah, please share this, and bye.